In June of 2023, we undertook a trip to the west coast of Vancouver Island. The first major obstacle was a psychological one, exiting the Strait of Juan de Fuca and heading out into the Pacific Ocean along the rugged Vancouver Island coast. We staged for a calm weather window, which certainly came to fruition. Exiting the Strait of Juan de Fuca, to the left is Mexico, and straight ahead is Vancouver Island.
It's January 2nd, no, I think it's the 3rd, January 3rd. We're heading out to Point San Juan, Point Renfrew, and tomorrow we're heading to Banfield. It's a beautiful morning, 5 a.m. Weigh anchor.
Landmark, and it's of course the entrance to Barkley Sound. We set anchor in Banfield and spent a few nice days kayaking around the harbor and observing the maritime life. From Banfield, we sailed across Barkley Sound and began to explore the islands. Next, we headed to Ucluelet to explore the town and reprovision.
It's July 5th. 2023. Glenn just turned 60. And here we are in Ucluelet, that's how you say it, having crab that a fisherman gave us. We traded it for, well, he offered it and then we gave him a bottle of wine. And we are enjoying a really nice fresh meal.
Headed downwind from Ucluelet to Tofino in some fairly big swells and 15-knot winds. Heading into Tofino after a pleasant morning downwind sail.
Well, we had quite the day today. Left Ucluelet at around 8 a.m. Did a downwind sail in the fog, and it's very nice. Then we got into Tofino and had to dodge kayakers, and then we also had a very thrilling but safe docking in 2 knots of current.
Passing through Hayden Narrows, headed to Bachante Bay.
It's July 7th. We are in Clayoquot Sound, snuggled back into the end of a bay in Shelter Passage. And we're cooking some coho salmon. Well, we've cooked it. We're about to eat it. And we're just having a nice trip. We're gonna head over to Hot Springs Cove, and then back down to Banfield, to Barkley Sound to enjoy it. Excellent.
Hot Springs Cove, having an evening walk to the springs, 1.5 miles. Hot Spring Cove and Clayoquot Sound, going for an evening dip in the hot springs and waterfalls.
Happy place.
It's 5:15 a.m. on July 10th, and we are headed out of Hot Spring Cove towards Barkley Sound.
Well, it's July 15th, and Glenn would like to tell sailing stories, but actually we've been busy working for the last week, going between the Deer Group Islands and Banfield just to have good connectivity. We've used 100 gigs of data trying to get all our work done. And anyways, we're having a nice time. This is relaxing. It's not like the expedition to Alaska. It's very relaxing, and I think we'll finish up our work tomorrow and then be able to focus on fishing and sailing, and then come back to Banfield for the concert in about a week.
Robbers Pass entrance.
We're in Barkley Sound, headed to Nettle Island. Beautiful sail. It's light winds, but Confetti can go at a great speed in light winds, and it's warm and just loving it. Can't believe we're so close to home, but so remote too. July 19, last couple of days of my 58th year. Thanks. Anyway, we are in Effingham Bay. We sailed right into the anchors today from Nettle Bay. We had planned to go to Ucluelet, but decided to instead continue to enjoy the peace and beautiful serenity of the Broken Group. And so here we are, anchored. We have good connectivity, that I was able to do my call, and now we're going to head out for a hike and then some kayaking. It's It's July 21st, 2023. I am 59 years old today. We're in Banfield. We just had lunch with Jim and Dana and Terry Lush and his wife Linda. And I've talked to everybody in my family except for my dad. And talked to Elsa and Kim and Susan, and just getting lots of wonderful birthday messages, and even from Jacob too. So anyway, and more people too. I can't remember everybody, but anyhow, it's been a really nice birthday so far.
Nice view from our anchorage at Dodger Pass. Lady Beach near Banfield.
Almost like an ancient house of Kirchen, and a house of Kirchen would be a place of gathering, would be a place of potlatch, a place of ceremony, and for the most part our houses are called long houses because for the most part they're usually more like trailers, so they'd be narrow in the front and long to the back. But this one was one of the exceptions because it was designed for the purpose of ceremony. So the people would sit all around on the outside, and in the center of the house there would be the fire, there would be the song, the story, the dance, all of the pieces that put together to make a potlatch ceremony what it is. And the potlatch is a very big part of our culture, and not only our culture and our ceremonies, but it was almost like our registry, you know, so that when we would go and when we wanted to announce that there's maybe a new baby in our family, you know, a new member of our family, we'd do so in potlatch. We'd introduce. If we want to, you know, we want to announce that, you know, maybe just like I did recently, you know, last weekend, the coming of age, you know, our milestones nowadays are a little bit more different. It might be more like a license and different things like that, or you know, going to university or different things. And also some of the things that we might do is if we want to change our name, or if we want to even grieve somebody that we love but we lost, we could do so through potlatch. So it was an ancient way that we'd register. You know, it could be anything from birth to marriages to death, all of those different things. And one of the crazy things about potlatch in Canada is that there was a time it was actually banned and it was forbidden by law. So for a small little insignificant tribe on the west coast of Vancouver Island, we're one of the only, we're probably the only Indigenous people that actually have our language and our word all the way up to the highest law of the land, because Canada went out of its way to ban potlatch.
We are told this is the newest post supporting the log house from 1882. The others date back as far as 1500. And most of them are overgrown, the older ones. The one over here dates from 1760 something.
First and only time we actually had evidence of cougar in the village site. And I also think that's kind of ironic because this is the first year and I actually made this hat for this season. And on this hat is a complete set of cougar claws. And there's a whole set there. and it goes all around my hat. And I had these for about 13 years, and I finally decided, like, oh, I should do something with my hat and do something with my claws. And I got a new hat, so I was like, I'm going to put it on my hat. So I gave it to one of my artist friends, and he put them on there, put some beads and stuff on there, and the feathers, all that stuff, eh? And it was like kind of ironic that the one time I make a cougar claw hat for my tour guide season, we actually have evidence of,
he knew.
of cougars. And he went like, oh, I'm going to scratch on the post out here, you know, just to make sure you know that this is my house too, eh? And, you know, so that was it was 2 weeks ago today that this happened.
Wonder, eh?
How many bones are here?
Yeah.
What species are they? When were they caught?
Is that a jawbone there too?
Yeah.
That circular
jawbone.
piece?
Yeah. And this is a very distinct song that they would only sing when they're successful in the catch of a whale. Because in this song, in this paddle song, they're announcing to the people what kind of whale they have on tow. They're announcing where they're going to bring the whale to, because one of the things that they would do is when they're successful in the catch of a whale is they'd want to bring it to a beach that had a really big, long clam shelf. And they're going to bring it to Dodgers Cove, a place that we call Chapas, which is right across on between the islands Helby and Diana. There's a cove there that's called Dodgers Cove, and it has a really big long shelf on there, like I was talking about. And they would bring the whales up to that beach when the tide was at its highest. And as the tide was starting to go down, that was their sign. That was the sign of all the community. Everybody had to be all hands on deck to come and to butcher up and to divide up this whale. And this is our ancient whaling song. Oh, sole mio.
Way I do because I love you.
We're leaving Banfield after several days here. Really good time with the Osses and Jim and Dana and their friends, and also the Lushes. And now we're heading to Effingham Bay for a few days, and then Yuki, we're hanging out with Jim and Dana.
Here we go.
It's July 29th, 2023. We just fueled up and cleared Ucluelet Harbor. We're headed to Pipestem Harbor and then out into the Strait of Juan de Fuca early tomorrow morning to begin our sail home. It's been a fantastic voyage, lots of camaraderie, excellent weather, and some great sailing. Of course, as soon as we arrive home, we'll begin preparing and planning for next year's voyage to Alaska.